Hi class, so today we're going to learn how to diagram 4 different parts of a sentence. So with this first example, cats would be the subject. So with the subjects you're going to put on the first line, and then you would draw a line between the subject and the verb. So hunt mice would be your verb. So here with the second example, dog is going to be your subject and barked would be your verb. Now under the subject you have the words that are describing the subject. So any of the words that in your sentence that are going to describe your subject, you're going to put under them. And as well with the verb. Anything that describes the verb in your sentence, you would put under the verb as well. So here's a sentence that I have written for you guys. We're going to first, I'm going to show you the subject and the verb and show you where it's all located in the sentence, and then we can go from there to diagram. So here with the cake with nuts fell into the floor. So the cake would be your subject. With nuts is describing the cake. So that's going to be your adjective. And it's just easier to just over each of the subjects and the adjectives, easier when you're going to diagram to just display where it's at in the sentence, so it's easier once you go to diagram. Fell is going to be your verb, and to the floor is going to be your adverb. Most of the time with adverbs you can tell with it, since unto is a preposition, that is going to indicate that this last 3 words are going to be your adverb. So here you're going to start out, and it's just easier to just draw a line first with a line in the middle. So here's going to be your subject is always going to be the first line. So you're going to put cake here, and then next is going to be your verb. So your subject and verb is going to be your main part of your diagram. So fell. So as I indicated earlier in the movie, you're always going to put what describes your subject underneath the subject, and as well as the verb. So since the nuts is describing the cake, you're just going to simply draw a line kind of diagonal underneath the cake and put it here. So the same thing with the verb. You're just going to simply draw right here. And unto, you're actually going to put the here, because the is describing unto the floor actually. So you're going to put floor here. You're going to put the actually underneath it. You can also do this with the separate ones for the cake as well. So if you wanted to, you could draw a line here and write nuts. It's completely up to you. But that would be your simple sentence diagramming. So you're going to have your subject here, your verb here, your adjective here, and your adverb here. And that would be diagramming a simple sentence.
Alright, now that you understand subject and verb, let's move into adjectives and adverbs. Just to refresh your memory, an adjective is a word that modifies or describes, means modify and describe are the same thing, but modifies a noun or pronoun. So an adjective modifies a noun or pronoun. An adverb modifies a verb. So if I give you the sentence, the avid hunters hunt daily, what you need to do is you need to figure out what is the subject and what is the verb. Now we have some extra words in this sentence. So if you're having trouble finding the subject, then an easy thing that you can do is find the verb first. Once you find the verb, the subject usually, not always, but the subject will usually come before the verb. So that may help you find the subject and the verb. Once you find the subject and the verb, you can then add your adjectives and your adverbs. So take a second, pause, see if you can fill this in, come back to the presentation and see if you're correct. Okay, let's look at this. Hunters is your subject. Hunt is your verb. Once you have the hunters hunt, you need to ask yourself, what are the other words? How are the other words being used in the sentence? That would be a better way to ask. So, the and avid are modifying hunters. Then, the word daily is modifying hunt because it's telling you how often they hunt.